Welcome back to another great season of 323 Youth Flag Football in Temple, Texas. I'm Russell Maben, and this is 323 Live on the Flag Football Network. Today we're going to be chronicling the journey of the San Diego Superchargers, a team that had some tremendous ups and naturally a few downs as well. It starts with an AFC matchup with the Raiders. Killer Sprouse starts things off with a completion to Teddy Fillmore. This poor Raider finds himself surrounded by maiden girls.
Right there. Good job.
The Raider quarterback is under pressure, and Brinley Maben comes in for the sack.
Yeah, baby.
More defensive pressure from more maiden girls.
Right there, little girl.
Killer Sprouse is broken-hearted he couldn't get this pick six. Killer Sprouse to Tatum Maben. She takes the short pass and does what she knows how to do. Down the sidelines, past her old teammate Owen Fett for a touchdown. Teddy Fillmore gets open in the end zone for the conversion. This Raider thought he had a touchdown, but Tatum Maben has other ideas.
That's my girl.
Everywhere this poor guy turned, there was a Maben in his face, and Harrison makes the play.
It's just so good. Good for his.
Tatum Maben picks up the first down and almost gets away.
Right. Oh, pretty easy.
In the second half, it was more Maben girl defense.
Right there.
Tatum starts out left, changes her mind, goes back right, and draws a crowd, and goes down the sidelines for a nice gain. Killer Sprouse fires this one down the middle, and Teddy Fillmore with a great catch. And Easton Voles is wide open for the Charger touchdown. Back-to-back big plays from Easton Voles, an interception for the Chargers. Killer Sprouse threads the needle for the touchdown to Tatum. Another Raider run, another Tatum flagpole. Gideon Baker flies in on the coverage and almost gets the pick. Teddy Fillmore gets loose before he is finally run down by a Raider. Brinley Maben makes a move, cuts left and almost scores. So the Chargers start off the season with a 20-6 victory over the Las Vegas Raiders. Led by Easton Voles with 2 catches for 18 yards and a touchdown and an interception on defense. Keller Sprouse paced the passing game with 172 yards passing, a conversion, and he broke up a pass on defense. Tatum Maben led the ground attack with 32 yards, had 82 yards receiving, 2 receiving touchdowns, and pulled 7 flags. Teddy Fillmore had a great day receiving 3 catches for 75 yards and caught a conversion and had a flag pull. And Brinley Maben paced the defense with 2 sacks, 3 flag pulls, and also had 10 yards rushing. Brinley Maben puts some heat on the quarterback and causes a Texan incompletion. The Texans complete this one underneath, but Tatum Maben shuts that down. Brinley and Tatum combined for the defensive stop on this one. Tatum Maben gets by 3 Texans and heads down the sidelines before stepping out of bounds. Harrison Maben makes an incredible one-handed catch for a nice play for the Chargers. Brindley Maven and Easton Bowles combined to make this nice defensive stop. Teddy Fillmore with a nice catch from Keller Sprouse up near a first down. Brindley Maven just will not give up on this play until she gets the sack. It's triplet defense as Brindley puts on the pressure, and Tatum and Harrison have the pass defense. Keller Sprouse finds a wide open Teddy Fillmore with a big play for the Chargers. Keller Sprouse with a laser to Teddy Fillmore for the Charger touchdown. And it's Fillmore again for the conversion. Brindley with the pressure, Harrison with the flagpole. This poor kid just cannot get away from Brindley Maven. Harrison's blitz leads to Keller's interception of the Texans. Tatum hustles in to make this stop. This poor Texan ran the Chargers everywhere he went until Teddy finally makes the play. So the Texans defeat the Chargers 20-7 today. Keller Sprouse led the Charger attack with 120 yards passing and a touchdown. He also threw a conversion, got an interception on defense, and pulled a flag. Teddy Fillmore was the leading receiver on the day, 3 catches for 70 yards and a touchdown. He also caught the conversion, and he pulled 2 flags on defense. Brindley Maven led the defense with 2 flag pulls and a sack. Harrison also had 2 catches for 25 yards. He pulled 4 flags on defense and broke up a pass. Tatum had 30 yards rushing, 25 yards receiving, broke up a pass, and pulled 7 flags for the Charger defense in the loss. Chargers versus Saints, and this kid was surrounded by coaches' kids. Keller Sprouse hustles up to get this Saint behind the line. On this play, it's more defensive excellence from Keller Sprouse. Coach Sprouse calls the jet sweep to Harrison Maven for a nice game. Keller Sprouse looking deep for Tatum Maven, and she's got it. She's loose, and Easton Bowles loves it. Keller Sprouse avoids a little pressure and looks into the back of the end zone for his favorite target and the 2-point conversion. Another big pass breakup for Gideon Baker, and he almost picked this one off. There's just too many Mavens on defense as Harrison and Tatum combine on the flagpole. Keller fakes a Tatum on this one and finds a wide open Harrison who rockets down the sidelines for a big gain. Tatum Maven takes the handoff and looks deep for her buddy Easton Bowles, who makes the catch. Brindley, Keller, and Easton almost combined for a safety on this play. This time it's Tatum, Keller, and Easton, and they almost get them a safety. Brindley brings the pressure, and Tatum almost gets an interception for this defensive stop. Gideon Baker spins down to the 1-yard line, and Keller Sprouse tries to help the official with the call. This is straight up stealing. The defense goes with Harrison, and Keller Sprouse just tosses it to Tatum for a touchdown. Brindley Maven jukes a kid out of his shorts, and then zooms around the end for the conversion. More great defense from Gideon Baker. He breaks this one up, and this would have been a pick six. Running the ball near Tatum Maven is not a very good idea. On fourth down, the Saints get the completion, but Keller Sprouse makes the stop for the Chargers. Who needs cheerleaders for halftime entertainment? Keller completes a short one to Tatum that she turns into a big play. Keller finds Harrison in the flat. He's wide open. He turns on the Jets. He's down the sideline, and that's going to be a touchdown for the Chargers. The Charger defense dominated all day, including this interception from Keller Sprouse. The Saints tried man defense on Tatum, so Easton Voles hands it to her, and she scoots around the end for a Chargers touchdown. Keller and Brindley pressure the passer almost into a Troy Myers interception. Master pass rusher Brindley Maven causes an incompletion on this one. A little bit of confusion on the motion, but Easton works it out and finds Troy Myers for a nice completion for the Chargers. Easton completes a short one to Tatum, and as she takes off and weaves her way all the way through the Saints defense, she finds herself heading for the end zone as Saints fall all over themselves trying to get her. Troy rockets through the Saints defense and almost gets the conversion for the Chargers. Keller almost gets interception number 2 on the day, but breaks this one up anyway. Easton Voles provides the pressure and forces the Saints incompletion. So the San Diego Superchargers pitch their first shutout of the year over the New Orleans Saints 34-0. Keller Sprouse led the offense with 111 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, hit a conversion, also got an interception on defense and pulled 5 flags and broke up a pass. Tatum ran the ball for 15 yards and a touchdown. She had 106 yards receiving and 3 touchdowns. She had a receiving conversion. She threw the ball for 20 yards and broke up a pass and pulled 7 flags. Gideon Baker had 10 yards rushing, but also broke up 2 passes that were nearly intercepted. Easton Voles had 20 yards receiving, 55 yards passing, and a passing touchdown. Troy Myers had 10 yards rushing. He did convert a rushing conversion and caught the ball for 15 yards. And Harrison Maven caught 2 balls for 45 yards and a touchdown, ran for 10 yards, and pulled 2 flags in the big victory. The 2-1 Chargers move on to take on the Commanders, and 3 Chargers rally to make this pull. An excellent pass defender, Keller Sprouse, breaks this one up. That swarming Chargers defense surrounds poor Levi. Tatum takes the jet sweep from Keller and goes deep into Commanders territory. Keller fools the defense this time by faking it to Tatum and flipping it to Harrison, who takes it in for the Charger touchdown. The quarterback had a little trouble with the snap, but he finally gets it to Levi, and he's chased around the corner by all 3 Mavens. Levi takes this one around the end. Tatum can't get him, but Gideon Baker is right there for the play. On this pass down the middle by the Commanders, Tatum and Keller almost get the interception. This Keller Sprouse pass goes right across the middle to Easton Voles. He goes around the left side, turns on the Jets, goes down the sidelines, and scores the Charger touchdown. Gideon Baker makes Coach proud by setting a nice edge here for the Chargers. Harrison Maben does the same thing on the other side, setting that edge. Back on offense, Harrison continues making plays for the Chargers. Before this play, Coach said, "Tatum, pick." And she makes him a profit with this interception and return down the sidelines. Tatum sucks the defense in on this one, then throws it over their head to a wide open Easton Bulls, who houses this one. On the conversion, Keller Sprouse fires a rocket into a wide open Harrison. Keller and Tatum combine to make a really nice defensive stop here. Dependable defender Gideon Baker was in perfect position on this one. Tatum stops this speedy commander before he can get started. Keller fakes to Tatum and finds a wide open Easton Bulls for another Chargers touchdown. Easton and Keller are not fooled on this commander's play. Harrison's pressure leads to an incompletion that was almost a Gideon interception. In a little role reversal, Tatum throws a touchdown pass, this time to Keller, who houses this. Tatum finds a wide open Gideon Baker for the conversion. Levi tries to get away, but Tatum is having none of it. The Commanders complete a short one here, but Harrison Maven shuts it down. After several near misses, the Chargers finally get a pick six from Keller Sprouse. Tatum completes the conversion to Brinley, her first receiving score of her career. So even though they were down 2 players, the San Diego Superchargers get a 38-6 victory over the Washington Commanders. Key players for the Chargers: Easton Bowles, 83 yards receiving and 3 big touchdowns, the hat trick, and 10 yards rushing for Easton. Keller Sprouse led the team with 90 yards passing and 3 touchdowns, had a passing conversion. He caught a pass for 25 yards and a touchdown. He had an interception, 5 flag pulls, 2 pass defenses, and a tackle for a loss. Tatum had 15 yards rushing, 5 yards receiving, 48 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, a pass defense, 6 flag pulls, and an interception. Gideon Baker caught a receiving conversion, pulled 2 flags, and broke up 2 passes. Harrison Maven caught 2 balls for 25 yards and a touchdown, had a receiving conversion, and pulled 6 flags on the day in the big victory. The 3-1 Chargers were taking on the 2-2 Vikings, who they practice with on a weekly basis without Keller and Easton. And Tatum makes this play. Teddy did a great job filling in for Keller. On this play, he couldn't find an open man, but finally he spots Tatum deep and he launches one. She catches it and takes this one to the house for the touchdown. The Maven triplets surround Ford on this one, and Harrison gets the flagpole. Good Charger team defense here as Brinley provides the pressure, and Tatum and Harrison play the pass defense. Teddy completes to Harrison. He gets through the first wave before they finally get him. Gabe takes the ball and goes left, but Troy sets the edge for the San Diego Chargers. Harrison forces Cruz right into a Troy Myers flagpole. Brinley pressures Cruz this time, and Troy's on the other end of this one. Troy was very active on this day and set the edge on this run. Cruz launches this one way downfield, but Gideon and Tatum break this one up before Ford can catch it. Chargers are everywhere on this one on defense. Brindley forces Cruz to get rid of this one to Ford, and he's surrounded by a bunch of Chargers. Harrison, the pass rusher, gets in there and breaks this ball up before Cruz can even throw it. On fourth down, Teddy Fillmore launches this one way downfield, and Tatum scoops it off the ground for a first down. Tatum wanted to throw this one, but the Vikings played good defense, so she had to just do it herself. She goes left. She jukes out the entire team and goes into the end zone for the Charger touchdown. Short completion to Gage for the Vikings, but Harrison's right there. Teddy and Gideon play some excellent Charger defense on this play. So the undermanned San Diego Chargers drop one to the Minnesota Vikings 42-12. They drop to 3-2. Top performers on the day include Tatum Maven with 35 yards rushing, 50 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns, a pass defense, and 8 flag pulls. Teddy Fillmore did a great job filling in for Keller Sprouse with 95 yards passing and a touchdown, and he pulled 4 flags on defense. Troy Myers had 10 yards rushing, 3 flag pulled, and broke up a pass that was almost intercepted. Harrison Maven caught 4 passes for 45 yards. He pulled 4 flags on defense, broke up a pass, and got a sack. And Gideon Baker had 2 flag pulls and broke up another pass, one of the leaders on the team in that category. The 3-2 Chargers head into the final week of the regular season, needing a victory over the Rams to be able to secure a playoff spot. And Easton Bowles gets them off to a strong start with a great run down the sideline. Teddy Fillmore sneaks behind the defense, and Keller Sprouse finds him all alone down near the end zone. The Maven triplets work together to make this play for the Chargers. Gideon Baker sets the edge, and the Maven girls combine to make the pull. Tatum takes this handoff and goes left, breaks a tackle, and goes down the sidelines for near a first down. Keller completes a short one to Teddy, and he gets around the defense and breaks away down near the end zone. Teddy gets wide open again, and Keller feeds it right to him for the Charger touchdown. Teddy Fillmore plays some heads-up defense, but he can't come up with the interception. The Chargers cut this ram off at every turn until Tatum finally gets the flagpole. Keller Sprouse makes a big-time play on defense for the Chargers. Keller hands to Harrison. He avoids 2 Rams, turns on the Jets, and goes down the sidelines until he's finally run down by Graham. But his quarterback sure appreciates the effort. Harrison Maven makes 1 man miss, makes 2 men miss, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Chargers. The Ram quarterback wildly flings this one into the end zone, and Tatum almost comes up with an interception. Keller Sprouse has all day to look for a receiver, and when you do that to him, he finds one, and that's Tatum on the other end. She turns on the Jets, and that's a touchdown, Chargers. The Rams give it to Graham, but Keller has him in check the entire day. Another wild pass from the Rams and another near interception from Tatum. Keller Sprouse drops back. He's got all day, doing his taxes, lets it rip, and goes way down the field to Tatum Maven. She catches it. Touchdown, Chargers. It's a double blitz in Graham's face. He lets it rip, but Troy Myers almost gets the pick, and I think the whole team wanted it for him. This play had no chance from the start. The Chargers were all over this from the very beginning, and they finally make the play. Troy Myers makes a nice move and gets a good gain for the Chargers. Keller Sprouse drops back to pass and says, when all else fails, throw it to Tatum. And there she goes. Touchdown, Chargers. And quarterback and wide receiver celebrate together. Troy Myers tries to convert the extra point for the Chargers, but just falls short. Tatum kills this play before it even gets started. The Rams drop the snap, but the Chargers just play defense anyways. It's a double blitz on Graham, and the pass goes wide of its target. Gideon Baker was in the area. The double blitz works again, and this time Tatum gets the interception. Keller fakes out the defense, then gets the ball to Teddy Fillmore, who shakes and bakes, makes some moves, and gets upfield. So the Chargers defeat the LA Rams 30-12 to round out the season at 4-2. Top performers in the game were Keller Sprouse, 175 yards passing on 4 touchdowns, and he pulled 4 flags as well. Teddy Fillmore caught 60 yards worth of footballs, scored a touchdown, had a flag pull, and broke up a pass. Tatum Maven had 22 yards rushing, 120 yards receiving, 3 touchdowns, broke up 3 passes, pulled 7 flags, and got an interception. Harrison Maven ran 3 times for 54 yards and a touchdown and pulled 3 flags, and Easton Bowles ran for 35 yards and got a flag pull. So the Chargers finished the season at 4-2 and head into the playoffs in the 7th seed. In the Thursday night matchup with the 2nd-seeded Bucks, Easton Bowles starts things off with a flag pull. Keller finds old reliable Teddy Fillmore on this one, and he gets ahead near a first down. Teddy Fillmore messes up the Buccaneers' 2-point attempt with an interception. Keller Sprouse employs the Tatum's down there somewhere strategy, and Tatum makes the catch. She makes a move on Bryson. She gets down the field. She makes another move on Bryson before she's finally tackled at the 1-yard line. But the Chargers are fired up about all this. Keller pitches it to Tatum. She wants to throw, can't find what she likes, and she takes off down the sidelines for a nice gain. Keller drops back to pass. He lets it rip, and Teddy Fillmore has it. He breaks 2 tackles, and he's down the sidelines. Touchdown, Chargers. And look at this team celebrate with their man, Teddy. Keller shows some fancy footwork in the pocket, looks into the end zone, and finds Easton for the 2-point conversion. The Bucks try to get the ball way downfield, but Keller Sprouse is right there. And Bucks don't like that very much, but it makes Coach happy. Tatum provides the pressure, the coverage is there, and the Chargers get a big 4th down stop. Keller throws a short one to Tatum. She turns the corner on the right side, gets down the sidelines, and makes a nice play for the San Diego Chargers. Coach had to call a timeout here in the second half and talk to his kids and just say, look, we're not going to win this game, but let's go out there and make some plays and play like San Diego Chargers. and everybody was on board and played great the rest of the game. Easton Bowles, giving maximum effort, made a great play on a really good player to get this flagpole. Teddy Fillmore almost ended the year with an interception on this play. So the eventual champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers ended the San Diego Superchargers season on Thursday night. But the top performers in the playoff game were Teddy Fillmore with 45 receiving yards and a touchdown, 2 pass defenses, and an interception. Keller Sprouse had 110 yards passing and a touchdown, a passing conversion. He pulled 2 flags and broke up a pass that was nearly intercepted. Tatum had 32 yards rushing, 65 receiving, and pulled a flag and played man-to-man coverage on their best player for most of the game. Easton Bowles had pulled 3 flags and had a receiving conversion. And that'll wrap up the San Diego Superchargers season, 4-2 in the regular season and lost to the eventual league champions in the playoffs. Well, that's going to do it for this look back on the fall 2025 season of the San Diego Superchargers. Congratulations to the coaches, players, and parents for another successful season in 323 Youth in Temple, Texas. Join us in the spring for more exciting action on 323 Live on the Flag Football Network.
Right in here, guys. Here we go. San Diego Superchargers! San Diego Superchargers! Good job.